Very good afternoon to one and all. In today's session, we are going to discuss on capital budgeting. So we are going to see what is capital budgeting. So obviously it is a financial concept. So what is capital budgeting? So capital budgeting, it refers to deploying your funds in the uh, huge expenses or in the long term assets. That is what called as a capital budgeting. So when we say about the investment, normally we will invest in long term as well as in the short term assets. So if you have been investing in short term assets, that comes under working capital. But then if you have been investing your funds in long term project or long term assets, all those things, it will come under the capital budgeting. So capital budgeting, in the sense, you will deploy your current funds in any long term asset in anticipation that you will yield a benefit over a series of years. Example, take in case if my plan is to purchase a machinery, automatic machinery for my production purpose. So I require to invest in the automatic machine. It might involve lakhs and lakhs. So if I've invested in the machine, obviously I could control the manpower cost also. So what sort of benefits I will yield? I can carry out my production process in a easier way, and I can also produce n number of products. So if my production is sound enough, and I can also do my sales in a better way, right? So I can generate more income. So that is what capital budgeting, in the sense, how long or how far you have been investing your long term assets in how far you have been investing your long term asset, so that you can expect some sort of benefits during your future period. So that is what called as a capital budgeting. So capital budgeting, in the sense, it deals with capital expenditure. Okay, example for it, if you have been purchasing the fixed asset, it is a capital expenses. It is it is not a recurring expenses. Capital expenditure, in the sense, the nature of the capital expenditure, it would be huge amount of money would be involved. Obviously, if I wanted to purchase some machine, I cannot purchase for 100 rupees or 200 or 300 rupees, right? So automatically the cost of the machine would be high, and I will not know doing that expenses on a recurring basis, weekly basis or monthly. Once I purchase the machinery, I can run the machinery throughout the lifetime of the particular machine, right? So that sort of transaction is what called as a capital expenditure. So if I invest any amount of money regarding the capital expenses, that is what called as a capital budgeting. So the benefit is extended more than 1 year. If I am been going for a modernization plan for my business, if I am been going for any expansion plan for my business, if I am been invested in R&D activity for my business, if I am been purchasing any new fixed asset, or if I am going for replacing any of my assets. So all this is what called as a capital budgeting. So the main objective of capital budgeting is obviously to earn a profit. Without an investment, you cannot earn a profit, right? So if you invest your amount in any long term assets, obviously you can earn a profit during your future period. If in case if you have been not at all invested any amount in any long term assets, the profitability will be question mark. So that is what, if you wanted to increase your profitability, obviously you should invest in the long term assets. So you should get into the capital budgeting decision, as well as capital budgeting decision, in the sense, you will have n number of opportunity prevailing in the market. but no, you have to decide no the best among it. Take in case I might have two project proposal, but I cannot no invest in both the proposals because of the amount of money which has been in the hand. So I have to decide either project A or project B. So on what basis I will decide? Obviously I will consider the profitability. So I will see which project will bring more revenue, which project will bring more profit, or I will also see which is the huge risky project. So based on the risk and return, I will decide the proposal, right? So that is also the capital budgeting decision, and I will also decide whether the specified project to be selected or not. When I will select, if it is been feasible, if it has been earning a profit for the company, I will select. If it is not so, obviously I will not at all select the project. So I should also be very clear about the quantum of finance which is required for a particular capital budgeting. So for that, and also to assess what sort of sources which has been available for mobilizing the capital for undergoing the capital expenditure. So all this is what the objectives of a capital budgeting. So in today's session we have seen what is capital budgeting. We have discussed on the definition and meaning. So capital budgeting is how you have been deploying your current assets in the long term asset. So how far like you have been going to yield the benefit more than a series of years. So capital budgeting in the sense purchasing of fixed asset, expansion plan, modernization plan, acquisition, R&D, all this activity involves the capital budgeting decision. We have also seen the objective. The main objective is to find out the profitable capital expenditure, and also to evaluate the merits, and to also to decide whether to get into the project or not, and also to know about the quantum of finance which has been required to undergo the particular capital expenditure. So this is what we have seen in the today's class. Thank you for attending the session. Thank you so much.